Good afternoon. My name is Allison Keithan. I am the Assistant Director of Conferences at MMAC, and I want to welcome you all here to the abstract submission tutorial. And today we're going to go through a few items to ensure that you have a successful abstract submission process for our 2022 Biomedical HIV Prevention Summit. I'm going to go through a few housekeeping things first, and then we're going to begin. First, I'd like to let you know that we will be recording this webinar. It will be posted later on our website, so you can reference it later. And also, if you have any questions during the webinar, feel free to enter them in the chat box on the right side of your screen. Towards the end, we'll be answering those questions. Let's begin. So today, we're going to cover abstract submissions in two parts. First part, how to write a successful abstract, and the second part is how to submit an abstract. Most importantly, you need to know the website to go to in order to get to access all the website information in the submission portal. The website is biomedicalhivsummit.org. And the submission deadline is February 11th. So on to part one, how to write an abstract. First, you want to look through the track descriptions and make sure that you select a topic that best meets what you want to submit under. The track descriptions are listed here. We also have them listed on the biomedicalhivprevention.org website. On that site, there's also the descriptions listed. You can read through those. And if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to conferences@mmac.org. And we'll be happy to answer your more specific questions, or you can ask them at the end of the webinar. So as you look through the track names, you'll see towards the bottom we have a track that is only in Spanish, and that track will only be accepting abstracts in the Spanish language. For the Biomedical HIV Prevention Summit, we only are accepting abstracts under one presentation type, which is our workshop. Workshops are an hour-and-a-half presentations. This means a person or a panel will be in front of attendees and will be giving a lecture or presenting a specific subject or topic. We also have two abstract formats. The abstract formats pertain to the type of content that you're submitting your abstract within. So the first format is scientific. The second is community focused. And we'll get more into what those two formats mean. So as we look at a scientific topic, we'll have a title, which is limited to 10 words, and a description to describe the purpose of your program, project, or study. Methods would be, what methodology did you use for this project that you were working on? Did you have market research? Did you have small groups discussions? What was the method? Results. Here's where you want to describe the outcomes of the program, project, or study, include any quantifiable data if possible. Lastly, you would state your conclusions. What was the result? What did you learn? What will they learn? Community-focused abstracts are addressing broader issue area problems or community need. The title will be limited to 10 words. The workshop description is 150 words or less, and this is describing what your project issue or need is. Secondly, you'll be listing the issues. What are the problems and the specific issues of this thing, or what you will teach and discuss? You will list out the learning objectives, and this is about what you want the people who are attending your workshop to learn. And fourth would be your strategies, methods, models, and examples. What are your teaching strategies? How are you teaching them this information? Are you giving them information that could be, like, are they working in groups? Are they actively doing worksheets during your workshop? That's what you want to consider when you're writing that particular portion. Next, you'll select a presentation level. The level is determined based on what your attendees' understanding needs to be at the beginning of the workshop. So you have beginner, intermediate, and advanced option. So as you consider all the things that we just mentioned, you want to have you can use the following tips. You want to start early, you want to proofread, have one of your colleagues review the abstract, make sure that it makes sense and it kind of meets all the requirements of the abstract. And one more tip is that we do not accept pharmaceutical abstracts. Part 2, how to submit an abstract. This year we've updated our abstract submission system, and so this section will give you more of a acclimation to the system so you don't go in blindsided. You'll kind of understand what you're going to get into when you begin to submit the content that you've just written. So again, you would go to the website biomedicalhivsummit.org. When you get to the site, this is what you'll see. You'll see the call for abstracts, the orange button with track descriptions, and another one to submit your abstract. You'll want to click the Submit an Abstract button to log into the system. Once you're in the system, you'll see a welcome page, and this is where you can either create a new user profile, or if you've already created one, you would just log in using your login information. So I suppose most of you are new, so let's look at how to start an account. So we're back at that abstract submission site. You'll look at the button down below that says Join Now. You'll want to click there so you can begin setting up your new account. To start an account, there is some required information. First, you'll have to agree to the privacy notice. There's a checkbox and a name and a place for you to type in your name as a signature, an electronic signature. This is not bypassable. Everyone is required to submit this privacy notice. And the notice is basically to say that you understand that you're submitting this information and that NMAC will have your information. You will need to complete all fields that have a red asterisk, create an access key, which is just another word for a password, and then you'll click Create Account. In that new user account information, the required fields are your first name, last name, an email address, which is suggested to be one that you check regularly, your cell phone number, your city, state, position, your company or institution, and your credentials. You do have the option to click Not Applicable if you don't have any credentials that you want to mention. And for company and position, if you're not submitting under a company or if you don't have a position that you would like to name, you can type NA. And when you complete that information, select update account. So now that you've created your account, you can move on to submitting your abstract. You'll come to a new landing page and you'll see a plus sign to click here to begin a new abstract. You click on that green plus, and you're on to the next site. Here, you'll begin your submitting the information that you wrote. You want to put in your abstract title, and you'll select the abstract format. This will determine what type of content you're putting into the system. So you would select either community or scientific, and then click submit. And this is what your dashboard would look like once you enter the title and select your abstract format. You'll see at the top the new sample title, and on side abstract formats, you'll see scientific abstract. And then you'll see below 3 tasks. The first task you'll have will be to submit your title. That's already done by the time you see the other 3 tasks. So then task 1 is to enter co-presenter information, enter co-authors, and then task 3 is to enter in your abstract information. First task is presenter information. These are the people who will be on site presenting with you. You can add a maximum of 3 abstract submissions with a maximum of 4 presenters and a maximum of 10 co-authors. You have those 3 tasks that must be completed, and upon completion, you'll receive a green check mark. So on to the presenter information. To add a presenter, you need to enter the following information: their first name, last name, email, cell phone, city, state, position, company, and credentials. What you'll notice as you're putting in your abstract information is that as a submitter, you'll be listed as the first presenter. If you are not going to present and you're submitting on behalf of other people, there is an option to remove your name as a presenter. However, you will need to have at least 1 presenter name listed in order to submit. So you've added that information and clicked Save Presenters. You've received your green check mark. Task 2, add co-authors. So now you've finished your presenter information. Now you're at abstract authors, task 2. For each co-author, you're required to enter the following information: first name, last name, email, position, and organization. This is a listing for people who are assisting in writing this abstract. And this section is also not required to have people listed. So if there's no one you want to add as a co-author, simply go to Submit Co-author, and you will receive a green check mark. Task 3, abstract information. Required abstract information is as follows: the abstract title, your track, presentation level, your workshop description. If you're submitting a scientific format, you'll need to include your methods, results, and conclusions. And if you're submitting a community-focused format, you would need to submit your issues, learning objectives, strategies, models, methods, and examples. Upon entering the information, which you would have pre-written from part 1 of this presentation, you'll click Save and receive your green check mark. You go back to your dashboard and you'll see that you've received your 3 green check marks for all of the sections that you've entered. You've finished all of your tasks. You can then select Save Submission. Only after you save will you be able to submit for consideration. You'll click the orange Submit button in the upper right corner. Once you click Submit, you should immediately receive a confirmation email in the email address submitted in your profile. Again, the submission deadline is February 11th. So you've submitted your abstract. Congratulations. So now what's next? Your abstract will be reviewed by the program committee for the summit. The committee reviews, scores, and selects the abstracts for presentation. Decisions will be sent no sooner than March 7th. Your abstract will be reviewed on the following: how interactive is your abstract and presentation going to be for the attendees? Does it align with the track you selected? How relevant is it to today's issues? Are you presenting innovative ideas? Is it essential for people who work in the HIV prevention community? And how clear are your objectives and your narratives? So we're going to open up for questions now. Again, please remember, if you want to submit a question, you can enter it in the chat box on the right-hand side of your screen. And after this, if you still have questions, you can submit them to conferences@nmac.org, and myself or my colleagues will get back to you with a response. So we're going to open it up. Chip, are there any questions in queue? Hello, Chip?
Yes, hi, I'm here. Sorry, I got disconnected.
Okay. Are there any questions from the audience?
It says, can you add hyperlinks to your abstract for examples of work?
You can, yes.
Okay, next question. If submitting an abstract, is it best to apply to attend the conference or apply for a scholarship as well, if that is the preference?
If you're applying for an abstract, you can apply for a scholarship as well. However, if you're accepted to present, you will receive a scholarship to attend the conference. So I would say submit your abstract, put in your best submission, and it's very likely that if accepted, you will get a scholarship to attend. That scholarship will include registration, hotel, and travel.
Okay, Allison, at the moment, we don't have any further questions. We can give folks a couple more minutes if they do have questions they want to ask.
Awesome, great. And so I do want to mention this year, thank you to our funders, because we are able to offer 2 scholarships per accepted workshop presentation. And that's a big step up from previous years. We know that a lot of people work with colleagues, and a lot of times being able to attend and have your presentation partner attend sometimes isn't affordable. But this year, thanks to our sponsors and our funders, we've been able to offer additional assistance to our workshop presenters.
Again, if you do have a question, please submit it in the chat box. We have a comment, Allison. No question, but this was very thorough and extremely helpful. Thank you.
Great. I'm glad you found it helpful. But still, if you have any questions, you're welcome to email, and we will respond as soon as we're able. Well, regardless of your submission status, if you submit an abstract or don't, I still hope that you're all excited to come in person. I know MAC is excited to do our first in-person conference since the pandemic, and we have a lot of things planned for you. So we're looking forward to seeing everyone there at the conference, but we also do look forward to seeing your topics and your abstract submissions, because that's what makes our program great, is what you submit to the process.
Okay, Allison, looks like we have no further questions.
Okay, great. Well, thank you everyone for attending today's webinar. Please stay on and complete our survey at the conclusion of the webinar. And this webinar will be posted on our website, the Biomedical HIV Summit.org website. Let me say that again, it's www.biomedicalhivsummit.org. Thank you.